Welcome to zSpace Learning Tech It Out. I'm zSpace. Today we are going to dive into the zSpace Management Hub to look at temporary access. And you're wondering, why would we want to have temporary access? Well, sometimes we're working with customers and we need to be able to not only see their orders but manage some things inside of there, such as creating device groups and assigning software. So this allows us to do this for a specific amount of days, so that way we can help that customer and move forward with deploying and getting zSpace rolling. So how do we go ahead and do this? First off, you're going to log into manage.zspace.com and you'll get to your management hub here. And of course it's going to have your name listed because you were signed in with all of your sales orders, your team, devices, and software. However, here's how we're going to provide management access. Go to Admin Tools at the top right and select Temporary Access. Now on this screen, the first thing you're going to do is create the temporary access. So you need to set this up. The second step will be to using grouping. Notice this requires temporary access. So let's go set this up first. So now it'll show you the temporary access management portal. As you can see, there are several different groups where people have devices managed, or basically temporary access for those. So we're going to click on Grant Temporary Access, and I'm going to do this for a group that I'm working with soon that the last digits are LCD. It's Lauderdale, and what's nice about this is it'll pull up all of the SOs, and you'll see SOs with software titles, SOs with devices. This one's pretty tricky because they've had a number, as you can see, 4 devices that were RMA'd. So they have separate sales orders numbers on there, and they might even have different names. So I'm just going to apply all of these. That way I can manage everything, not only the software, but also the hardware. So I'm going to go ahead and select all those and select User at the top right. Now I'm going to type in my name, and I just used a shortcut for that, so that's why it did that. I can set the duration to a certain amount of days. Typically we want to keep this at 1 day just because we're probably going to be on site and working with them, but if you know it's going to be a couple days, you can certainly set that duration. So I'm working with these folks next week, so I'm just going to make sure I have enough time. And then I hit Submit. And then what that does is it says access has been granted, and you can also add other users if needed. And that'll give them temporary access. It does not add them to the team. That still needs to be done by the main user. So now, if I would go back to our just main page here, alright, so now I want to manage their area and manage their hub. So I'm going to go to Admin Tools and Temporary Access, and now Group Devices and Assign Software under this management. And you see I have several open up at once just because I still have temporary access to them. So I'm going to make sure I select the areas that I need, because now I have temporary access. I want to be able to access their software and hardware. So I'm going to make sure I select all the same group. If these all had the same name, I could do the filter search that way. But I want to make sure I select just the SOs that I'm able to manage. And you can see they're all the LCED.net ones. These other ones would be different. And now I click Next. So what you'll notice is now you'll get the Management Hub showing that you are still your user, but it shows what ones you are managing. It still has the sales orders. It'll show you what the team members are. So I can quickly go through this and see these are the sales orders that I'm able to go through and manage. And here. You can see also these are who has been given access. And then here's your devices. And notice it's going to say the number of devices they have and ungrouped here, and also those same devices are registered. You will also notice anything that you may have set up prior during this temporary access. So this was for another group, so that's why that's showing up. It's going to say 0 devices just because you don't have control over those with these SOs. So we're mainly focusing on these ungrouped 52 devices, and we want to make sure they're grouped. So I'm going to select them first, and of course if I'm grouping them, I want to group them in the right order, and I want to make sure that all of the items that I need grouped are in there. So you can see there's different SO numbers. I want to make sure all of that is listed here. So you can see with 52 it's a lot. So this would of course have some sort of organization ahead of time, knowing that you want to select the right devices. So now let's just do a sample to show you, because it would take opening up our dashboard or seeing and knowing what specific devices were at each place. And sometimes places move them around, so you want to make sure you're with them on site. But if you're doing it ahead of time and you're just trying to set up some device groups, first we'll create the device group. So I'm going to call this Ripley Middle School, and then we'll make sure that this is at Lauderdale County Schools. So I created the device group, and it actually gives a code, so if you needed that later to go actually on the device, you could type in that group code and it would put that device in the group later. But let's say 26 devices, or half of them going into this group. So let's go ahead and take the ungrouped devices, and I actually have one serial number that I pulled from the dashboard. And it's showing here as ungrouped, so there it is. This device is at Ripley. So what I want to make sure is I select it and then move to another group. And so now I will move this to Ripley Middle School and click on Move Device. And there it's successfully done. So now if I go to Ripley, I have this device, and then thus this will allow me to assign software to this device. We will make sure that these devices are all registered. As you can see, they are unregistered, and that would be something we would do on site with the customer, or show the customer how to use the QR code to scan those to get those registered. And the reason all this backtrack is happening is because these devices were sold before we did the switch over to the management hub. So that is how you gain temporary access. Let me just show you the next step so you can see just on the software end. If I click on software end, you'll see the particular SOs that have software. This both has Halls and Ripley on there. And you can see these are the number of available seats, and of course I can manage unassigned licenses straight from here, and then choose the device that I already have in a group, because they have to be grouped in order to assign them, and then assign the new licenses. And so now I go and see, okay, what am I assigning? I'm assigning one of each of these, for example. So easily I could do the one that have 52 just because I know those are going on all devices. Whereas this one, of course, I need to make sure and check that they are being appropriated to the right devices. So if I click on next, it basically says that these keys are going to be assigned. I hit save, and I can go back to home or whatever. But now when I look at my devices and I look at the particular one device that I just set up, you can see that software has been assigned, and then of course just running Device Hub would make sure that they get them accurately. So that is how you do it in the temporary access mode. You will see this hide unmanageable devices, and so that way any devices that I could manage would not be shown. So that just makes it easier. If I want to switch back, I just click on the top and click on switch to zSpace role, and that did it. Alright, so that was just a quick tech it out. I know this will help many of you as you're trying to manage and understand the management hub and having that temporary access if you need to make things happen for a customer while you're on site, just getting them going, because I know we have our restrictions with sales orders going through to one person and they might not add a team member. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this and good luck with managing our licenses.